Assalamu alaikum everyone. We're back again. Unfortunately, we are back now with a heavy heart for everything that has been going on. We don't need to explain to everyone or teach you how to suck eggs. Everyone knows what's going on. I'm joined today by Hamza and Saif.
Salam, everyone.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Where do you start? Where do you start with what has been happening? It's weird because this is probably our 7th session or 8th session that we have recorded. None of them are out yet, but even though this is the latest one to be recorded, it's probably one of the first ones that we will put out. And I want to make clear first and foremost that this is not an episode where we're just going to be talking about how bad one side is, or use it as an excuse to bash a particular group of people. It's not that. We're literally just going to be saying it for
Humanity.
for what it is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what it is does reflect negatively on one group of people. All because of why? That's the $1 billion question, isn't it? Why? Obviously, there are theories and reasons and all sorts of things out there as to why. The oppressors will say one thing, which they will say this is the reason why. Doesn't, in my opinion, I'm not an expert on the Middle East or all of these things, but to me, the reason given as why does not make any sense whatsoever. And for a lot of people, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But it's an important topic to discuss. And like I say, we don't want this to be a session where it's just bashing a group of people. But in my opinion, it will just be
I don't think you can call
facts.
I don't think you can call it bashing people. We're just talking about what has happened, what is happening. And I think everyone else can deduce it for themselves about what it's about.
100%. You can just a lot of people can take a lot of lessons from this as well.
100%.
Like the number one thing I would say as well is how much of a privilege we have compared to for the people in Palestine as well. What we used to think of problems and everything is actually how much we actually take for granted. How much we actually take for granted. Now you can just say we actually have no problems compared to what they're actually going through as well.
Yeah, big time. It's got to the point now. What's the date today? Today is
31st.
The 31st of October, and as of I think a good few days ago now, obviously there's hardly any aid going into Palestine at all. As we all know, water, electricity, internet, everything has been turned off. People can't. It's bad putting, death by bombs to one side. There's another crisis there in that people don't even have anywhere to go toilet.
Yeah.
Right? People are having to go in the streets, and that in itself brings a whole host of illnesses and diseases and things that are going to be spread amongst their community there, all because of them being denied the basic human right of being able to go to the toilet, bruv. What a basic thing. Do we ever give thanks to having a bathroom? Somewhere clean, sanitized, that you can go do your business in a hygienic way and leave with no illness or disease? Do you know how lucky we are now?
You take it for granted.
Bro, a toilet.
Yeah.
Just
Bro,
to have a
toilet's
toilet.
just one thing. You've got food, water. It's like water is something we take for granted, like so much. If I want water, all we got to do is open the tap and we know the water that we're going to drink is going to be all right.
Yeah.
There's all the people in Palestine right now, they don't have water. They're having to line up for water for hours and hours on end, where they've rationed water to the point where if you're a family of 4, 5, 6, you're not going to be able to drink water. And more times they're lining up for the water by the time that it's their turn, they don't even have any left for them.
There's nothing left.
So, like, and obviously that links with toilet as well, because to be able to go toilet, you need to have water so that you can clean yourself after, right? Then you've got the food situation. It's, bro, prisoners get treated better. Prisoners have a warm bed, a toilet, hot food. They even flipping have TV. They have all sorts of luxuries in prison now, you know. And then there's people in Palestine that are denied the right of everything just because they're Palestinians.
Denied the right to be alive.
Yeah.
To live.
Yeah.
That's because of something that is completely out of your control, which is where you're born.
Now, Palestinians are labelled as terrorists, right?
Yeah.
Why? Can someone
So-
answer that question? Why are they labelled as terrorists?
I think it's like going... okay, obviously none of us were alive at that time, but imagine during like World War II, yeah, when you had the Nazis and stuff, yeah, where people were Germans who didn't necessarily agree with why that war was happening would be drafted into the army and they would have to go, right? Even if they didn't want to. And the world would label that singular individual, or we would label them now, as a Nazi. We would say, you're a Nazi, right? Or you were a Nazi. So it's like one of them things where it's like, but what we don't know is the story behind it, which is maybe that individual didn't want to be part of that fight. He didn't want to be part of that war, but he didn't have a choice. Just like now with the Palestinians, and this is what I think the Israeli government do not understand. They think that, okay, we're just going to commit genocide of a group of people. We've heard the word genocide a lot. But it essentially just means to wipe a group of people off the face of the earth so that that race of people can no longer exist, right? That is what genocide is. They think we're going to commit genocide and we're just going to wipe people off the face of the earth, okay? And they think that that's going to work. But actually, what's going to happen? There's thousands of children who, well, firstly have died. Secondly, that have not died but have witnessed things that nobody should witness, let alone children. Yeah. Those kids, you know, if they manage to survive and escape this, they're going to grow up with a massive amount of resentment towards
Hatred.
a particular group of people. And what does that breed?
A resistance.
Big resistance. So Israel going in, our aim is to eliminate Hamas with by any means possible, and literally by any means possible. But do you not think that, number one, if there are, if there's a child or children that do escape and get out, that they're not going to want revenge? They're not going to grow up with hatred in their heart. Do you think children are just born with innate hatred towards Israel? No, they're not. How do you think Hamas started? No one turned around and said, do you know what? We hate... All right, let me tell you something. I'm going to digress a little bit. What was Hitler's main thing? What was Hitler's main thing? What's Hitler known for the most?
Killing Jews.
Killing Jews. Why did he hate Jews?
Because they owned they had most of the wealth in their pockets. They
No.
controlled everything.
During World War One, where Germany also lost the war, Hitler is Austrian. He's not even German. Hitler's born in Austria. He was part of the army that lost, and in his opinion, it was the Jews that caused them to lose, right? And that's why he hates Jews, or hated Jews. He wasn't born with a hatred of Jews. No one pops out the womb and automatically, they pick up a gun. That's not how it happens. You see things, you hear things. Why people hate, or why someone would hate someone is down to them. It's not like a, what am I trying to say? It's not like a guaranteed thing. Like, the same reason why someone hates you might be the same reason why someone loves you. right? So it's subjective. Nobody is born with that. But what I'm saying is, if you're a kid and all you've seen is death, destruction, your parents are being killed, siblings are being killed, family are being killed, even down to things like your pet. You know where kids really love pets. They love their cats and dogs and birds and all of that stuff, yeah? Even you've killed their dog, for example. Like I say, minor, we shouldn't really take any life for granted. But in comparison to killing a human, a minor thing, and they'll take that and they'll grow up with that hatred because of something that you have done to something or someone that they love. And then when they're older, they're going to use that to think, well,
they've got to channel that energy somewhere.
Have to channel, exactly. Thank you. You know what I'm saying, right? And a lot of these kids, now you've got to remember, a lot of people will think Hamas are dangerous now. Wait in 20 years when the 5-year-olds are 25-year-olds and they have nothing to live for.
But that's why they're erasing all the children, bro. Since 7th October, out of the 8,000 to 9,000 people that have killed, most of them have been kids. Why are they dropping bombs on hospitals where their babies being born and whatnot? That they could. There was this one post I saw where a child that was unborn yet that was killed because of this whole thing, and he was having his janazah before he was even born.
Man,
how mad is that?
That's crazy. Imagine they're having to do your death ceremony before your birth ceremony.
Yeah, that's one thing I posted. I saw as well. That their death certificate was issued before their birth certificate. Because there was a child that died. I think it was 1 day old as well. So their death certificate was issued before their birth certificate.
Dude, that's crazy.
How crazy that is.
The other thing that is crazy is I saw the Ministry of Education in Gaza closed out their school year because all the students are dead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you just hold up? Can you just deep that?
Do you know how crazy
just deep what you said? You just said that the Ministry of Education for Gaza has shut down the school year because there's no children to teach.
All the children are dead.
Now imagine,
not year, school.
That, bro. Now imagine, God forbid, look, the fact that this is happening or that has happened and that has been said is a great loss for humanity. Yeah, not for Palestine, for humanity, because we've lost as people, as humans. If that has what it's come down to. Now imagine the same thing had happened in the UK or in America. Would Israel still be considered to be fighting for its right, or be allowed to do these attacks in a disproportionate way? How can you support or accept that? Now I know there's been arguments from the opposite side where they're like, Hamas has beheaded X amount of children.
No evidence.
There's no evidence. And on the Piers Morgan show, I think I can't remember which speaker has said, I think it was Mohammed Hijab, and he said, where is the evidence? The same I think it was Daily Telegraph, they posted that, and a couple hours, so let's say for example 10 million people saw that, they spread that news and whatnot. A couple hours later they actually retracted that statement. Because there's no evidence and because it never happened. Because if it had happened, show the proof. And
did you see the milk carton one?
Yeah, I saw the milk. That really jarred me out. Because one of the companies I worked at, it was there's a lot of Jewish people in there. And they are posting stuff on LinkedIn, and I don't care if I get cancelled or whatever from companies, because a lot of the tech companies that are out there, they're Jewish owned, they're run by Jews, and it really doesn't bother me. I really don't care. But they're posting stuff.
Let me just quickly, before you go further, remember that though, don't forget. Zionist. Different.
Yes, but they're hiding with the label.
Jews.
The fact that they're Jews,
but
in reality,
they hide behind it.
They're not Jews.
There are Jews who have denounced Zionists.
Yeah, they're saying stop fighting in our name.
And
stop fighting in our name.
Right, exactly. So it's not to say this is tarring everyone with the same brush. It's not, because that would be a case of okay, well, Osama bin Laden, they'll turn around and the West will say, okay, well, he was a terrorist, or Saddam Hussein, he was a terrorist, whatever.
But all
And they were
Muslims
Muslim.
have been labelled terrorists, bro.
Yeah, they have, but it doesn't make it true.
It doesn't make it true. I'm not saying
right?
it does.
So,
But that's how the media has portrayed it.
That's
to
how
be.
the amount of times growing up, someone has said, "Oh yeah, you're a terrorist." Bro, it's a joke, bro.
yeah, it doesn't make it true though. And we don't want to. We want to avoid
Hatred.
hatred. Yeah, obviously, first and foremost. But the thing that we hate being done to us, we don't want to then go and do that to other
No,
people.
100%,
right?
bro.
So Zionists.
So
It's the Zionists.
Zionists.
I have no issue with Zionists. Jews, like, you know.
Jews are lovely people, man.
Unfortunately, the Zionists will hide behind that label. But there are, Jews out there who follow their book, which, if you're a religious person of any religion,
And if you're Muslim as well, you'd know that we believe in Judaism. We believe in the
Torah. Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
Where's the word? It doesn't make sense for us to then say that we're anti-Semitic, because how are Muslims anti-Semitic? We believe in that religion. We believe in the Torah.
Semitism has got like. Oh, sorry. Do you want to carry on what you were saying? Sorry. Do
Yeah,
you remember? Carry on.
With regard, they posted stuff about the kids and saying, "Oh, how dare you?" To certain people, because I saw it on LinkedIn, it came up, and they're like, "Oh, how dare you ask for proof? Your butts are very powerful. Be careful with what you ask for," and X, Y, Z. And it's like, dude, we can give you the proof and every single thing to show that you've killed X amount of kids, whereas you can't even produce the proof for the 40 kids or whatever that were killed. And I'm sorry, just like the way 9/11 happened, a lot of Americans also believe that was all staged and whatnot, or whatever happened. A lot of people lost their lives in 9/11. But a couple days later, what did they go and do? They declared war on Middle East. They declared war in Iraq. They killed 1 million people in Iraq. It was all just to say that they're going to find mass destruction weapons when there was nothing there apart from them destroying every single thing. Now, I'm really sorry, but for Hamas to launch one attack and then where are they now?
Yeah.
How are they protecting Gaza now? There's no protection because Gaza is in pieces right now, right? So I'm sorry, but I've got this theory now that they could have very easily put on a mask, pretend they're Palestinians, launch an attack on Israel themselves.
Yeah.
To start this war.
Well, interestingly, there have been on this. What was it? The 7th of October. Yeah, there are eyewitness reports from Israeli nationals saying our own soldiers were shooting our own citizens at this festival thing. As they're escaping, the people are escaping. They're saying that, and let me make this clear: Israeli soldiers are shooting Israeli citizens. There's eyewitness reports from Israelis. It's not like a Palestinian who's coming and saying, "Oh, I saw Israeli soldiers shoot Israeli citizens."
Their own people.
It's actual Israeli people who were there saying, "We have seen Israeli soldiers shooting Israeli citizens," and then they turn around and go, "Oh no, it was there's the IDF and all these. Oh, it's the Palestinians." But your own people are saying, how it doesn't make sense. None of it doesn't make sense. So I can understand, Hamza, actually, how that theory. All I'm going to say is weirder things have happened. So yeah, it's probably a possibility,
bro. I wouldn't be surprised. It's an excuse for them,
and it's something that they would do. And the reason why I say that, is going back to the milk carton thing. For people that haven't seen it, I'm sure pretty much everyone's probably seen it by now. But they've really badly photoshopped a picture of 2 kids on 2 milk cartons saying, "Oh, these kids are missing. They were taken hostage by Hamas and we're still looking for them. If you know any information, then tell us," basically. I say photoshopped, but it wasn't. It actually even looked like it was done on Microsoft Paint. Like, that's how bad it was. Anyway, on the milk carton, these idiots have left. No, well, they are.
Don't use profanity because we're better than that.
It's not profanity. It's an adjective. It's an adjective.
No. But still, we're composed.
They turn around, and this is on the official Israel Twitter account. This is how dumb they are. It was the actual Israeli Twitter account that posted this picture, and on the picture where you can see the date for the milk carton, it says 2021. And at that, just quickly, they put promoted tweets on Twitter. They put ads on YouTube going, poor us. All the while, you're cutting electricity and water and these things. I've seen videos on Instagram of people, like Israelis, making TikToks, doing stuff, really bad stuff, bro. Like, they'll just turn the tap on and just let the water run. And just looking at the camera, like, laughing and smiling and stuff.
I saw that. That was time ago as well. It's bad.
It's very bad, bro. Like, and this is the sort of individuals that they are. Have you guys seen the? Because obviously there's a lot of these TikTok videos coming out, made by a lot of the IDF soldiers, right? Have you seen the? I'm gonna say it, the fat Israeli girl who made the TikTok?
No.
And she's in her uniform and she's dancing this, that, and the other. And someone put like a quote tweet basically saying, at least we know where all of Palestine's food went. Oh, wow. Bro, she was fat. Bro, she was a heifer, mate. She was big, bro. She was like...
Nah, we're digressing from the point, from the conversation. Let's not do that.
Nah, let's do it, man. They're all right to take the piss.
Nah, but we're not the same. We're not cut from the same cloth, bro. We're different. We're different. We're better than that.
Also, people... The other thing, going back to what you were saying, is people go, you're anti-Semitic.
Bro, that is a word that Zionists hide behind.
Yeah.
Okay, I implore everyone, to go and have a look what Semitic even means. Arabs cannot be anti-Semitic. Go have a look what Semitic means. What is the definition of the word Semitic? Arabs cannot be anti-Semitic. It doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, how can I explain it?
I'm gonna go have a look at the dictionary definition.
Have a look and please read it out. It doesn't make sense. It's like, I don't know. How can I even give you an example? If you're 30 years old, you going.
Relating, sorry to cut. Relating to the people who speak, the following languages that include Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic, and certain ancient languages such as, I don't know how to pronounce the next couple words. But yeah, relating to the peoples who speak Semitic languages, especially Hebrew and Arabic.
And Hebrew and
Arabic.
I didn't hear that. Say it again.
Arabic.
Okay, so how can they be anti-Semitic? What, do you think the Palestinians are looking at themselves in the mirror going, we hate ourselves?
They have changed the meaning of anti-Semitic because they define anti-Semitic as the hate towards Jews.
But it doesn't make... This is what I'm saying about how stupid they are and how stupid people are in general. It's like, when people... Okay, I'm going to throw... when someone goes, I'm depressed. You're not depressed, you're just upset for now.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's like when people throw that word around, I'm depressed. You're not depressed.
You start believing it.
Right? You're not depressed. You just don't know the correct way to use that word. And that's the same thing with anti-Semitism. Yeah? You don't even know. You lot who are going, but anti-Semitic. Bruv, you don't even know what Semitic means. You don't even know what it means.
Oh
Why
my God.
are you using it?
This reminds me. So going back to the company that I used to work for, another one of the posts that the person posted was that, this whole march that was happening. And I guess it's a great point to bring up right now because we have people here at the podcast that were at the march. Now, apparently, at the march in London for Palestine, people were screaming, "Kill all Jews." Was that true?
Of course it was.
What were they chanting then?
Free Palestine.
Exactly. Even after all the stuff that is being done to the Palestinians,
And they said Rishi Sunak's a waste man, but yeah.
no, but he is. Like even after all the bad stuff that is happening to Muslims, to Palestinians, we don't have hate. All we're saying is free Palestinians. But the Zionists, they're using propaganda to show other people or non-educated people or people that don't understand or know the history
Yeah.
that, hey, these are what Muslims or Palestinians are saying. We're actually being targeted and this is anti-Semitic behavior. I don't feel safe in the streets of London.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well, tell that to the 6-year-old Muslim kid that got killed by a 70-something-year-old man in America.
Oh, what about the recent woman that just got stabbed?
In Texas.
Yep.
Tell that to the woman who was having a picnic in the park with her family and some white guy nutter just went up to her and stabbed her for no reason.
I've got a question. When Ukraine and Russia happened,
Yeah.
Sorry,
Every
just very
single-
quickly, I'm still yet to hear of a Jewish hate crime. I'm still yet.
oh, bro, don't
I'm
worry,
still-
don't
I'm
worry.
still yet to- they'll make
they'll-
one up.
They'll make one up in a minute. Don't worry, they'll make one up in a couple minutes. They'll be like, yeah, somebody did this.
And then we'll ask for the evidence and they'll just go around in circles.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah.
But when the Russia and Ukraine war began, how many people, I have no clue, but I remember specifically people leaving the UK to go support Ukraine.
Yeah.
To go and fight.
To go fight.
Yeah.
Why are they not called terrorists?
Yeah, mad. Yeah, mad.
Now, I'm not saying there's been people that have left to go fight for Palestine because there's no way for anyone to enter because food isn't going in, so no, forget a human going in, yeah?
Yeah.
But when Russia and Ukraine happened, I think it was a World Cup as well, people were taking time, they were wearing badges for Ukraine or, I don't remember, I can't remember, my memory is the worst memory in the world, but what I do remember is that there was a lot of stuff or celebrities supporting Ukraine. Tell me one celebrity or one event where this Palestinian, or it's not even a conflict, where this genocide is being mentioned. And I'm going to ask you because only a couple of days ago was a boxing match between Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou, where obviously Francis Ngannou did win. He got robbed.
Yeah, 100%.
But that's on a side note. Back to serious stuff. Why was Palestine not a single time mentioned, even though it was in an Arab country?
Yeah, so... And
One-
actually,
Wait.
further to add
Let
to
me
that,
finish. Let me finish. Sorry. I think you're going to say the exact same thing as I'm
Yeah.
saying. One
Go on,
person was there with a Palestinian
Yeah,
flag
That's what I was going to say.
in Saudi Arabia,
Yep.
and he was forcefully removed. Bruv, how does that make sense? Saudi is a Muslim state, but let me tell you why he was removed. Because Saudi is backed by who?
The Zionist.
America, Israel, Zionists that control the economy, the world.
100%.
I would say one thing, and I only know this now. Throughout that whole card, I watched from pretty early, but not right from the beginning. There's a Russian Muslim fighter called Arslanbek Makhmudov. He is a Muslim, if you can't tell by the name. And in his he won, and in his post-fight speech, he mentioned Palestine. Throughout the whole event, I didn't hear no one else talk about it.
Saudi, they started the thing. Yeah, we've got 7,000 worth 7,000 nights worth of entertainment. Come to Saudi. You're like, brother, what's wrong with you? How about you promote Palestine stuff that's going on? Bring awareness to the genocide that's happening to your brothers and sisters. And I'm sorry, I know people argue that religion is completely different to state matters, right? But at the end of the day, we all bleed the same blood. And as Muslims, we're brothers and sisters, regardless of what color, what we are, what we look like.
100%.
Okay? So why the
And
hell
also-
are you not acknowledging what is happening?
Since when did it matter what religion you are when it's between something that's so blatantly wrong and so blatantly
It's humanity.
right?
Yeah.
It's humanity.
It doesn't matter, right? If you see a kid, any kid, any colour, any nationality, any religion, getting killed.
In your heart, that shit, you should
Whether
feel
it's
something.
Bro, there was
whether
this
it's
one
like
kid-
Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Hindu,
It doesn't matter.
Buddhist, bruv, there's even a Jedi religion, yeah? The kid could be a Jedi religion, I don't care. Yeah, but if
Brother
you
will
see
be
a kid
floating in
getting
a second.
killed, bruv, do not... Does something inside you not
You're gonna
go,
feel some
"Rah,
type of way."
that's-"
Bro, this
And for you, if you're immediately there to try and help the child,
I'm gonna,
or at least say, stop doing that.
100%.
I'm gonna share this Instagram handle in case people have not followed him and want to
Motaz.
know, and want to know what is actually happening in Gaza. His Instagram handle will be here somewhere, Motas_Aziza. Yeah, and brother, I'm sorry, but the videos that I've seen in there break my heart. I've seen a. You just go watch it for yourself, and you will just think to yourself, these Palestinians, what did they do wrong?
They're
Okay,
human.
Hamas is whatever. Whatever the hell Hamas is, go get surgically remove Hamas.
The question that the West will always ask is, but do you condemn them?
Yeah, oh my God.
But you say, oh my God, but do you condemn them?
I'm
Okay, you've
sick
taken
of
a breath,
hearing that.
but do you condemn them?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, but you're laughing, but do you condemn them? Bruv, shut up, man. Like, shut up about do you condemn, do you condemn, do you condemn. No one condemns innocent people dying. Nobody. If you do, you belong in a mental institution.
No, you believe in
No,
Jahannam.
nobody in their right mind, condemns innocent people who have nothing to do with anything dying. Okay? But for you lot in Sky News and BBC and these man, why do you only focus on one side?
Because they're
why
paid.
do you only ask one side whether they condemn this, but you don't ask the other side, well, do you condemn the killing of 8,000 innocent people?
Bro, it's all paid for
It's
media.
mad.
It's all paid for media. And that's why I'm not going to lie, I've stopped listening to BBC News ever since the war broke out. I listen to Al Jazeera now, yeah? I never thought
And conveniently, Israel have blocked Al Jazeera from entering and reporting.
Who is Al Jazeera owned by?
Yeah, Qataris.
Qataris.
Yeah.
And Israel has basically boycotted Qatar. They've got issues with Qatar now. But the Al Jazeera journalists have been killed. Bears.
And bro, this is how mad it is, yeah? I saw it, I think it was the UN. Yeah, you know when they send in
52 UN professionals
like
were killed.
peacekeepers, right? And this is how spineless these guys are against Israel, yeah? I'm saying that name so much that when we upload this episode, I'm like guaranteed it will get taken down. It will get taken down. But anyway, nevertheless, hopefully it stays up.
You got to speak the truth.
This is so crazy. This is how spineless these lot are. They say our beloved colleagues who, out of the kindness of their heart, they went in to help a people and unfortunately have been murdered. Yeah? But they don't say by who. Who have they been murdered by? Who have they been murdered by, bro? Speak the truth. You know what I'm saying? Who killed them? You won't say that though, will you? Why? Why will you not say it? This is their own employees. The United Nations, bro, are saying, oh, unfortunately,
Can you tell
X
me
amount
what
of people.
United Nations is?
Bruv, it's just like,
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a joke, bro, because I think it was 2 days ago or 3 days ago, maybe, when they really ramped up the bombing. It was when the ground invasion was supposed to happen 2 or 3 days ago. And on that day, the UN released like a emergency, like, I don't know what they call it, like an emergency ceasefire agreement or act or whatever it is. And Israel just ignored it. They knew about it, ignored it. But what I'm saying is, what is the point of the UN if you can make an act, it can be ignored, and nothing happens? There's no repercussions of ignoring it. What's the
There
point?
is a purpose for the UN.
What's the point?
There is a purpose for the UN. And that purpose is to control every country aside from Israel. Every other country is held accountable for their actions in history aside from who? Israel. Now, there was this one post I actually saw that the reason why Israel creates weapons. And
The testing ground, is that the one?
the testing ground is what?
Is it it's in the Palestinian for the Palestinian
For the
people?
Palestinian people.
Mm.
There was a whole post about this, and I'll try finding it, and we'll try link it at the bottom.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Then the guy, the person that was mentioning it as well, was like saying if that were to ever happen in the United States or the United Kingdom as well, like you'll have so many like organisations and everything stopping environmental and all this and that, stopping it. But is that the one that you're talking about?
Yeah. No, but there was another part to it where they said that they're essentially testing weapons and then selling weapons, saying tried and tested.
Wow.
Tried and tested on who? On Muslims, on
Mad.
Palestinians. The white phosphorus bombs, they're illegal. That has been banned. It's a war crime.
Bruv.
How is it that they have been able to drop countless amount of these bombs?
And for
And they're
people
not
that don't
held
know
accountable?
what that is, it's basically a substance. And imagine the way it drops, the radius of when that thing falls out of the sky is mad. And the best way I can describe it is, imagine if water is coming out of a watering can, yeah, where the radius of how the water falls is quite wide, right? It's like that. And the purpose of the design of this chemical is that whatever it touches, when it touches skin, fabric, clothes, it just ignites and it just sets on fire.
Wow.
That's crazy. So you're dropping a chemical which, on touch with a person's skin or clothes or whatever,
On flames.
it just
Now imagine
goes on flames, bro.
Imagine acid. Yeah, there's been
It's
a lot
mad.
of acid attacks in London in the last God knows 10 years. Yeah, compare that to the white phosphorus bomb.
This one's on steroids.
Different. How is that okay? There was only one person that has spoken freely about this matter. Imran Khan. And he's in prison. Since he was the only one, and if for those of you who don't know, he gave a crazy speech a couple years back in the United Nations circle. And since then, he's just been cancelled.
Yeah.
Alongside a lot of other
I know what you're
matters.
talking
Yeah, for
about.
speaking
But he's the
truth.
only leader that has ever spoken truth. He gave support to the people in Kashmir in his speech, the people of Palestine, the people in I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Uyghur.
You guys.
Oh yeah, the Uyghur Muslims.
Yeah.
Uyghur
Yeah.
Muslims?
He's the only one
In
that
China.
brought these negative events into light. No other leader has done that for a long time.
Going back to your sports thing as well, it's disgusting. Yeah, shout out to Celtic Football Club, sponsor us. Basically, yeah.
wearing green as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Going back to your sports thing, Liverpool. Okay, let me thingy this. Arsenal Football Club. Zinchenko put a thing saying, "I stand with Israel." This is on near enough the 7th of October, maybe on the 8th of October, the day after. Put up a post, "I stand with Israel." Little coward deleted it because he couldn't say it with his chest. And to give you an example, when Mesut Ozil said the same thing about the Uyghur Muslims,
Yeah.
similar situation,
He got cancelled
got cancelled differently.
It's like he was there one day and wasn't there the next day kind
Yeah,
of thing.
literally. Mohamed El Neni, this is going back maybe last year or perhaps even the year before. Something happened again with Israel and Palestine. He put a post up saying Palestinian lives matter or whatever it is, his message of support. Arsenal Football Club told him off and made him take the post down because one of their sponsors, Lavazza, who's a coffee brand, turned around and said, "No, we don't agree with that. So get him to take it down." So they got him to take it down. Zinchenko, he can put "I stand with Israel" and the club don't say nothing. Nothing whatsoever.
The double standards.
Double standards. And I hate to say it because Arsenal is my team, but mate, I'll be honest. At that moment in time, when I saw nothing has happened, I seriously thought about switching allegiances.
Yeah, we're now supporting Celtic. Sponsor us.
Celtic is my team. No, I still love Arsenal. I love it for the people and the history and blah, 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 whatever. Cool. Anyway, whatever. Liverpool Football Club. People going with Palestine flags. Now, I think it's been on 2 occasions now. People have been in there with flags. The stewards have gone, removed the flags and asked the people to leave. Okay. Manchester United Football Club. There was a guy who was a steward there. He put a thing about... I can't remember fully what it was, but it was like, oh, if you're holding a Palestinian flag, and other people in the crowd are giving you trouble, come and find me. This is my badge number. I'll handle it. He then put a screenshot of Man United Football Club, who had caught wind of this tweet that he put out publicly, and they had sacked him.
Man.
Right? Saudi Arabia, same thing. I saw Lord Aleem a few weeks ago when he took, I think it might have been at UFC or some sort of event where he went to, where he had a Palestine like t-shirt or a flag or whatever. He got removed from the event. Yeah. Why? Going back to Arsenal, which is what I started with, and this applies to every sports club, why can you support one and not the other? Why can you support one and not the other?
Why do they even draw the line for?
Exactly. What's the criteria?
I'm not even listening.
That's what I'm trying to understand. What is the criteria for you determining which flag is acceptable and which one isn't? And the reason why I say Celtic and the people who support Celtic, bro, when you look at the Celtic fan stand, I'm not talking about 1-2 people. The whole stand, the whole stadium is full
Palestinian
flag. Every corner inch that you look at. And bro, those are the guys, man. Those are the guys. Those are the guys.
The reason why I've not really been listening,
big up to Celtic, bruv,
is because check this. Yemen, out of all the countries, is the first country to stand against the Zionist regime.
I saw that.
And they've
earlier.
declared that a couple hours ago.
I saw that. They themselves have nothing. And why do Saudi not stand for Palestine? Because Saudi are involved in destroying Yemen.
Yep.
Their neighbouring country.
Yeah. Supposed to be your brothers, man.
Yeah, but there's that whole other story about Shias and Sunnis and all sorts of things.
Listen.
In all honesty, at the end of the day, is forget any religion. Let's think about the first religion ever, which is humanity. Because it doesn't take rocket science to figure out, I just need to be nice to someone else.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if this is hadith or whatnot. And I think there's a time where the oppressors are going to say that they're oppressed. I think I might be wrong. But this is exactly what is happening Israel is saying that we are being oppressed, whereas they are the oppressors.
Do you know what Israel remind me of, yeah? You know, you have them spoiled kids who have absolutely everything. And then they turn around and they're like, I don't know, they'll say like, yeah, I know I got a PlayStation 5, but I need an Xbox as well. And then when they don't get it, they're like, oh, poor me. Well, that's what it reminds me of, bro.
Let's sum up the history. Let's sum up what has happened over the years in Israel, Palestine. And let's use a very easy analogy. Let's say, for example, I come to your house, Saif, yeah? And you've built your house with love, with money, with hard work, every single thing. You've built your own safe haven. And I've come in and I don't have a house. And I'm like, Saif, can I live in your house for free? And you're like, bro, no, like I've got family here, I've got all sorts of things and whatnot. You can't live here. And I'm like, well, bro, you know what? I think this house should be shared. How about that? You know, let's share this house.
I'm going to stop you there. One thing was incorrect.
Go on.
When you ask, can I live in your house? That's the real life version of that is, I'm assuming, settlers coming to... Yeah. But the difference though is the citizens of Palestine at the time, they didn't say no. They welcomed them with open arms.
No. It was
They welcomed them. It was the British
dumping their mess.
Yeah.
Onto Palestine.
But the thing is, when the settlers came, they were holding up like signs. I'm sure everyone's seen the picture. You know,
But Palestinian opened them, like, welcomed
they
them with open arms.
them. They welcomed. And why did they welcome them? Jerusalem is in Palestine. Yeah, we know about Jerusalem is
The holy city.
the holy city, bro. For three of the biggest religions in the world. Yeah, every single person knows about Jerusalem. Everyone. Yeah. Going back years and years and years and years, yeah, all three of these big religions have a claim to Jerusalem. The Muslims can say, no, it's ours. The Christians can say, no, it's ours. The Jews can say, no, it's ours. But for thousands of years, they have lived together in and around Jerusalem in peace.
During the Ottoman times.
Sharing it. Yeah? The Crusades happened. If you don't know about the Crusades, and go and read about it. We won't talk about it too much now. And there was war and stuff and this, that, and the other. Bro, I'll tell you now, there's to display the level of peace that can be achieved in that area, there is a Christian church there, and the person that holds the key to the Christian church is a Muslim. He has been entrusted with the key to the Christian church. And it's not like you might think, oh, that doesn't sound right, or that sounds made up, or that sounds... No, go and have a look. That particular individual who holds the key to the Christian church, that key has been passed down to him for years and years and years and years. Before him, it was his father and his father and his father and his father and his father for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Yeah? Now, what other place in the world will you say that, okay, do you know any person, yeah? Do you know a Christian that holds the key to a mosque?
No.
Do you know an imam that holds the key to a church? No. Yeah? Do we know, a Hindu who holds the key to the synagogue? No. Nowhere in the world. But the area in the world where all three religions, where you would think there would be the most amount of conflict, yeah? And there is, don't get it twisted, but what I'm saying is the fact that a Muslim man can hold the key to a church, and so can his dad and his dad and his dad and his dad and his dad, and everyone is fine with it, goes to show the level of peace that can be achieved, right? So then it begs the question, well, this isn't a religious war. How can it be a religious war? Because peace has been achieved, it can be achieved, and it's proven to have worked in the past. So what's the reason to come and...
It's a proven method, isn't it?
Yeah, it works. So what's the reason to come and destroy it? There's got to be a reason, bro. Governments are not stupid.
A lot of Jews, or this is Jews, not Zionists, I want to stress, they aren't happy with what's going on. Yeah. Now, there was this, when I used to work in that company that has a lot of Israeli people, Jewish people, or Zionists in that company, I remember there was a company they had acquired within Israel as well, and the CEO of that company and I had a catch up, and it was over Zoom. He was in Israel or Palestine, and I swear to you, I never thought this conversation would have ever happened, but it brought me to tears, and I could tell that he was teary as well. And he said, brother, are you Muslim? And I was like, yeah, I am. He was like, I'm really sorry for what is happening in Palestine. I do not support this stuff that's going on.
Mad.
And I swear to God, I just looked at it like, this is the first time I'm speaking to him. And he just goes, I do not support what's going on. It's hard to see this, hard to watch what is happening. I don't agree with this. And imagine he got squashed out of the company.
Mad.
He got squashed out of the company.
But this is if you don't fit the narrative, you're gone, man.
You're gone. It doesn't matter if he was Jewish. He was Jewish.
Yeah.
And he was gone. Because he didn't support the Zionist regime.
Yeah. And this is what I say, bro. It's not that... Listen, anyone listening to this, I guarantee you, within a certain radius of the exact place where you are now, there is a Hindu, there's a Muslim, there's a Christian, there's a Jew, there's other religion, Buddhists and this, that and the other, atheists and everyone, right? But people are living in harmony, right? And for that particular region, like I say, it has happened and it can happen. what I'm interested in is why. What if we know it works? We know it works. Yeah. What's the reason to come and disrupt that? And you're using this as the cover up.
Let's bring religion into this, because I remember when I was younger, my imam taught me stuff, and he said, because this war has been going on for 7,500 years.
Yeah.
It's not 7th October is when it started. Okay.
Yeah.
This war has been, not war, this genocide, this illegal movement has been happening for over 100 years. And my imam told me, he was like, there is a time, the reason why this war, he said, is one of the biggest world wars. And in the Quran and in the Sunnah, in the Hadith, is that there's going to be 4 major world wars. And the last one is the sign of the Day of Judgment is close. And this whole movement is happening. The reason why they want to be there is to welcome Dajjal, because Dajjal is actually going to come where? Jerusalem. And what is he going to do? He's going to perform the same miracle that Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, Jesus, could perform. He, I believe, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand that Dajjal can give life to the dead. And that's why...
Or seemingly.
Or seemingly.
It will be a trick.
It's going to be a trick.
It's a trick.
And that's why all Jews or Zionists take their dead and bury them there, so that Dajjal can then raise his army when it comes to the fight. And another reason why even these trees, animals, they have religions. Yeah. There's this one specific tree, and they've planted a lot of them across Israel. That is the only tree Dajjal will be able to hide behind against the real Muslims. Because he'll want to try and flee. Now, and if you think about it, the kind of air base and all this stuff that they've created, these are all ways so that they can create an escape route for him and whatnot as well. So the question of why it's happening, learn about Islam.
100%.
If you want to know why this whole thing is happening, is because they need to occupy it. There's going to be 40 years of hardships. It's going to be 40 days and nights, I believe. No, I'm getting that wrong.
Yeah, there's like, it's like 40 days or something, but the first day will feel like a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
and then the second day will feel like a month or whatever, and the third day will feel like a week, and then from the fourth day onwards it will feel
but then
like
I think it came up to it being like
or something along those lines.
It would be just over like a year and a few months.
Something like that, yeah. Something, I can't remember the exact number, but it's basically the first day will feel like a year, and then the second day will feel like a month or whatever it is, or a week or whatever, so on.
So all this Zionist regime is to do with one thing, with Dajjal. And this has been going on for a very long time. The welcoming of Dajjal is around the corner. And I know we're not talking about religion and whatnot, but there is no rational explanation of why this is happening. But that's the only reason why I brought Islam into
100%.
it. 100%. Because we're Muslims, and we know that this is the reason why it's happening, is so that they can create
the Antichrist.
And
that's what it is. And then that's another thing as well, is like, you know how they show how Al-Aqsa is, but it's the rock of
the golden dome.
That's not Al-Aqsa.
That's not Al-Aqsa.
That in itself is a different masjid. That's a different masjid.
Al-Aqsa is opposite the rock of dome. And then what they're going to do as well is they're going to demolish the actual Al-Aqsa.
And that's one of the biggest signs of Day of Judgment, because that was told 1400, I don't know how many years ago.
This is how it's going to happen. So, whenever, like, when the video and everything happens, they always show, like, the Rock of Dome on film as well. And even a lot of Muslims, they even think that is the actual Al-Aqsa. So when the Zionists actually do take over Al-Aqsa, nobody will even know, because of how
strategically they've ingrained it.
Exactly. So that's a tactic in itself. So, real knowledge is so important as well.
I believe, the graves, the Masjid al-Aqsa.
Okay.
Yeah, Israelis mowed the graves down to create buildings and whatnot, or a car park. or something mad like that. This was a couple of years back.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Something like that. Yeah.
Imagine a cemetery where your beloved people are buried.
No, didn't they make a fun fair?
I have no clue.
Yeah, it was
bro.
like a fun fair or something.
But we will never know.
Yeah.
We'll never know because they will never let that news come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine a cemetery where your beloved people are buried and whatnot, for that to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that's alright?
It's mad, man. Like,
The things that Israelis have been able to get away with, the Zionists have been able to get away with, and then paint Hamas as the figure of terrorism and take all the attention away from them and using him as a figure to justify their actions. And I'm sorry, they still hide behind the Holocaust thing. There's Jews that do not agree. They say, look, if we're going to bring a Holocaust into this, there was apartheid that was done towards us. We were killed and whatnot. So we were oppressed. So why, and this was somebody, I can't remember the name of the talker, but his family was killed in the Holocaust, his grandparents. And he said, you're telling me my grandparents died for you to be able to use their name and to be able to oppress and create apartheid on other people. The same reason why they died.
yeah.
Do not you. And he said, it just, look,
Doesn't make sense.
it genuinely doesn't
And
make
on
sense.
the terrorist thing, like,
And I'm sorry, did
People
Muslims,
are-
did Palestinians were the ones that did the Holocaust?
people are quick to use that terrorist label, man. So quick. Nelson Mandela was labeled as a terrorist once upon a time.
Or what did he say? There was a quote he said as well. Don't be fooled by the media about the oppressors being the oppressed or something. I can't remember.
I don't know. I'm not really one for quotes, bruv, to be honest.
I'm not really well for memory. The gigabytes here are running
It's
out.
interesting that when it fits the narrative, you're a terrorist, and then when it fits the narrative, then you're like a freedom fighter. And when it fits the narrative, you're an inspirational figure. Imagine Nelson Mandela went from being called a terrorist to being the president or
biggest
prime
hero.
minister of a country. How can you be so wrong? How can you be so wrong? Do you know what I'm saying? So, like I say,
they just try to doubt yourself as well, don't you? They try to doubt you.
go back to Nelson Mandela, bro. They tried to break that man. Do you know how long he was in prison for?
Yeah.
Do you know, I don't
And he
even
was
know.
in his,
I'm going to tell you.
Is it Robben Island he was in, or was it? Is it Robben Island in South Africa?
Oh, I'm not sure.
So that's where he was jailed, I believe. But I was gonna Google it, but I can't really Google it now. Can I?
Yeah.
So even if you were to escape
Robben
as well,
Island, yeah.
it was Robben
So-
Island. So even if you were to escape as well, he would have just been surrounded by sea.
That man was in prison for 27 years.
Wow.
27 years he was in prison.
Don't be fooled, man. Don't be fooled by the West driving a narrative into your head.
Look at
Know
this.
all the facts,
Mandela
man.
was a controversial figure for much of his life, although critics on the right denounced him as a communist terrorist. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. So, this is how wrong the West, get it. On one side, they called him a terrorist. Few years later, they gave him the Nobel Peace Prize. How? Do you see the hypocrisy? And this is what exactly what I mean when I say about fitting the narrative. You will be whatever they label you to fit. If you're a square but you need to be a circle, they'll trim down the edges and push you into that circle. Do you get what I'm saying?
Can you define terrorism for me? No, the dictionary definition. Can you get it up, please?
Yeah. Let's see.
I was gonna say that as well before to Google it, but then I was just like, "Is it alright if I should use it on your phone instead of mine?"
So basically,
Okay,
guys,
so, thank you, bro. In the UK, the legal definition of terrorism is provided section 1. This defines terrorism as the use or threat of action which involves serious violence against a person, involves serious damage to property, or endangers a person's life.
so tell me, how is it okay for Israel to do all of that
And not be named.
and not be named as a terrorist.
So, hang on. Involve serious violence against a person. That's a big tick. Involve serious damage to property. Huge tick. Endangering a person's life. Massive tick. So, the definition of terrorism is if you tick any one of those three boxes, but these guys have ticked all three. And you still,
They're
the
megatron
word does
terrorists,
not
bro.
leave your mouths.
So, was they a triple terrorist or what?
Bruv, that's a terrorist squared, bruv. I don't know.
They've committed war crimes and whatnot. So
My thing is
And-
now, the question for me is, how do they get away with this?
simple.
They control everything.
Everything, man.
Everything
Control
is
everything.
Every massive consumer-facing brand and all the media companies, every single thing in this world is backed by who?
Yeah. Yep,
Jew-
yep, yep, yep,
Not
yep.
Jews, Zionists.
Yep. Yep. Although I saw earlier a post since I think the 7th of October, Starbucks have had to close down 5 stores.
But that's only in the Middle East.
It's a start, man. It's a
Yeah.
start. You can't run your first race and hope to win, and for that first race to be an Olympic gold medal. You got to start somewhere, bro. You got to start somewhere. So I would highly encourage. And there, listen, I have seen. I don't even know if they're scholars or if they're people of knowledge or what they are. Really differing opinions on whether protests are allowed, whether boycotts are allowed. One will say yes, one
Well,
will say
apparently
no.
they're trying to make
Okay.
the word jihad illegal
So,
now.
the boycott thing, look, man, it's not that deep. If you have a choice, you can exercise that choice of where you want to buy your coffee from. Yeah? If you truly feel the pain of our brothers and sisters, then we could probably unanimously agree where you won't be buying your coffee from.
Bro,
It's not that hard and it's not that deep. Just go to the shop next door. These coffee shops, usually, right next to one, there's about
another-
4 more.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's not going to kill you to
you-
walk a few more steps
Yeah.
to go and buy it from somewhere else.
You'll get used to the taste, believe me. You know what I mean?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know if Cafanero's Zionist owned or not, but Cafanero's banging. I know you love Costa, but
Do you know what I love more than Costa, weirdly enough, and I'm not even just saying this because it's coincidental with the conversation we're having, Arabica Coffee House is owned by a nice guy. I don't actually know where he's from, but I think he's from somewhere in the Middle East. I just get mine from there now, and it's local, it's family owned by him, and actually, the coffee tastes nicer than all of these shops anyway.
Yeah.
So, and it's not just that. Oh yeah, do you know one thing I saw? I'm laughing about it, but it's a bit mad, and I don't encourage it. Is in Birmingham? Did you see what the guy done with the rats?
Oh my
Or
God,
the
in
mice?
McDonald's?
Yeah, yeah,
He painted the mice as well.
yeah.
Have you seen that, Hamza? Bro, can you get the video?
Oh, let me see if I can.
Can you
find
get the
it. Let
video?
me see if I can find
Show Hamza quickly as well. Bro is
see if I
mad,
can find
innit? It's mad.
it. You see, it is funny. Rats. What do I type in rats?
See if you can grab it on TikTok.
Oh, is it on TikTok? Yeah. All right, cool.
You'll
Let me
find
go on
anything
TikTok.
on TikTok now.
Let me go on TikTok then. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, look, check this, Hamza.
على عهدي على ديني على أرض تلاقيني أنا لأهلي أنا فديهم أنا دمي فلسطيني 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 أنا دمي فلسطيني
That's like
That is mad.
It is very deep.
That
Okay,
is mad.
firstly,
that's-
as funny as it is. Okay,
He's not one of them just oil activists. Or
yeah,
something
that's
like
a bit much. Okay, first and foremost, let's address the fact
But
you should not
look,
be. You
yeah,
should not
100%
be.
shouldn't do that.
But
You
what I'm
shouldn't
trying
be
to say,
painting.
it grabs the attention.
It does grab your attention, but for the wrong reasons, because
Yeah.
people will now turn around and go, "What an idiot!
Yeah, 100%.
What an idiot!" First and foremost, mice and rats, yes, as disgusting as they are, we shouldn't be pouring dye on a living
Yeah.
animal. We shouldn't be doing that. Firstly,
No, but we shouldn't also, because there are still people eating in that restaurant.
secondly, yeah,
and
there
you're,
are
you're
people.
creating issues or
There's
It's just-
listen, on that video there's kids and stuff there.
Exactly,
the kids
yeah.
ain't done nothing. You don't need to go and do that. You're causing a disturbance to people who
100%.
might not have
Are not
anything to do with it or don't deserve it or not involved. Yeah, exactly, man. You don't need to do all of that stuff. There are other ways to do it. Or you know, make sure that your voice is heard.
what if the
but-
mouse mouse was carrying some sort of
Well,
bacteria or whatnot?
imagine this, okay? That is a really good point. Yeah, a mouse could be carrying bacteria or could give it to another person. Another person could get seriously ill and die, and that would be your fault. Vice versa, someone might step on the mouse or hit it, and the mouse might die. And yes, it's only a mouse, but it's a life nonetheless. A life that is not up to you whether you give it or take it away. So you got to be mindful of these things. Yes, it's only a mouse, but nevertheless, it's still a life.
100%.
What good are we? Because if we're doing that, yes, it's our whole issue here of what we're talking about, and the whole problem in the first place is who are Israel to determine who dies and who doesn't die and killing all of these people? Okay, a life is a life, regardless of whether it's an ant or an insect or a mouse or a person. Okay, we're not the givers and takers of life. We should respect life equally for everybody and everything. If we then start not doing that, especially for something as silly as that, man, that's silly, and that in itself is the problem. We shouldn't be doing things like that. But back to yeah, go on.
What would you sum like? I honestly, my mind is blank, and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reason
I hear it,
being
man. I hear you.
is there's nothing in this world or there's no words that have been created that can express how broken it makes me feel knowing what is happening with my brothers and sisters in Palestine. And I'll give you an example, one example why. And I guess like we can all give examples, but I saw one little girl and she was running around crying, saying, "That's my mum, that's my mum." And the other people are holding her, "No, that's not your mum, that's not your mum." She was like, "Call her to me." And she sat on a bench crying, saying, "I know my mother's here. Why has she left me? Why is she not coming back to me?" Brother, what has that girl done wrong? Yeah. There's nothing in this world that can break you more than a child's cry. What did that child ever do? How is she probably sleeping at night? Is she still even alive? We don't even know. And I said this to you guys a couple weeks ago when we were sat having food, and I said, this goes back to the Ukraine-Russia thing, that these people, they left this country to go support them. They were telling people, "Oh, you have to accept refugees from Ukraine into your houses and X, Y, Z." Now, the people of Palestine, we're Muslims. If imagine one of yous or any one of us were like, "You know what, I want to go support my brothers and sisters," you'll be labelled as a terrorist. Why?
Well, I think another thing is like, you know how the Ukrainians and everything, how they were refugees, weren't they, when they came into this country?
Yeah, racist refugees, yes.
Why can't the Palestinians come?
They can't. They want to kill them.
There's
That's what they wanna do.
there's so many whys, bro, and it just doesn't make sense. Like there is no, unfortunately,
It doesn't add
there's
up.
no answers to these whys, because to us it's so obvious, right? We're like, why? Surely you would treat one life the same as another life, regardless of
One
color,
life is not
religion,
better than another life.
It's not. And the frustrating thing is, we know this. Okay, I'll give you a situation. Imagine in your head, yeah, let's say, I look at this cup here,
Yeah.
and I say that's blue, and Hamza goes, yeah, that's blue, and you turn around and go, no, that's red, and I'm like, bruv, it's so obviously blue, and you're just adamant that it's red. Me and you, we will eventually go crazy because we're like, it's so obviously blue, no? But you're like, no, it's red. Now, those are the same questions. Those are the same questions that we're asking. We're banging our head against the wall, going, but it's so obvious. But it's so obvious. And that's what we'll never get the answer to that question. And we'll go crazy trying to find the answer because it's so obvious that you treat every life equally.
Bro.
Is that not? Let me ask you, if every life got treated equally, would this situation have happened?
Never.
No. But we know this. We're not experts on war. We're not experts in politics. We're not experts in government. But we know that actually the simple fact, if you treat everybody with the same level of respect, either everybody's in a horrible place or nobody's in a horrible place. We know that, but they don't know that. Or they do know that and they choose to ignore it. And that's what is the real killer. And going back to Ukraine, listen, man, when the United Nations called for a ceasefire and all the countries have to agree or disagree, whether they want it or not, Ukraine abstained from voting, which means they didn't vote yes or no. And for me, I was like,
Wow.
that
They
drew
should have been the
line
first
for
country.
me, man. That drew the line for me, man. I just, what do you say about something like that? What can you possibly say? What reason could you possibly give? You're there on the news for the last year and a half, 2 years, crying, begging, all of these things. And look, I'm not saying the government represents a whole group of people. It doesn't. But I don't find it so hard to believe that the Ukraine government and the Ukrainian people, or a lot of the Ukrainian people, are pretty aligned. I don't find that hard to believe. So I would say that decision to abstain probably is in alignment with what a majority of that population do think. And bruv, for me, that's mad. That is the whole ethos of what it means to be a Nazi. That's what Nazis wanted, right? They said the only people that deserve to be alive are the people that look a certain way. Right or wrong?
Yeah.
Right or wrong? So Ukraine, is that not what you have done? You have turned around and said, well, we're not going to vote yes or no. But in not voting in not voting positive for a ceasefire, you've essentially said, yeah, these people are going through the same thing that we claim to have also have gone through, but they deserve it because they don't look like us. Both of your big size tell me your opinions to that. And I did exactly the same thing when I saw it because it's just so unbelievable. Would I be right in thinking that you're thinking about what do you possibly say?
What do
to
you
that?
say?
What can you possibly say when you see something like that?
The world has gone mad. That's
It's
all I can
mental.
Just say.
It's mental. And I think about the future and, children to come and things like that, man. And I'm so ashamed that, children who haven't been born yet or who are still very young, like toddlers now, have to grow up in this world, man.
Bro, think about
Horrible.
history, yeah? Like, you know how we learned about the history of World War One, World War Two, all this bullshit stuff that we learned, yeah?
Yeah.
Think about the narrative that they're going to put into children's mind for Israel.
For this one.
Within the UK. They're going to paint
what?
Palestinians as terrorists, bro.
Yeah, do you know what, bro?
How mad is that?
And they 100% will. I've never thought about that, but
Because
actually
they will completely brainwash everyone to make them think that Israel did the right thing.
Yeah.
When in reality, it's genocide.
It's
It's
proper.
erasure.
And it's mad because the propaganda that they use,
It's the same propaganda that Hitler used to use.
It's literally like, bro, when you see them like side for side, obviously we won't know because we weren't there at the time of the Second World War, but there are pictures and articles and things like that literally do like side by side comparisons of what Israel are doing now with their propaganda versus what Hitler used to do with Nazi propaganda, and you compare the two and you're like, wow, they're so similar, and it's not one where it's like a coincidence, multiple things.
History repeats itself.
It does. If
you want to learn what happens in the future, read the history.
Yeah.
It was
It's
the
like,
same.
100%, bro. 1,000,000%, man. 1,000,000%. That's very true. It's just mad, bro. Like, anyway, look,
I think we should definitely link a history video of Palestine when we post this up, so that for those that don't know the history about the last 100 years or so what's been happening, it's good for you to learn and know do your own knowledge, do your own research, and don't believe everything that you hear in the Western media, because 100%. It will get you believing that oranges are apples. You know, so
there's a lot of things in life. Sorry to interrupt as well, but you have to unlearn to learn in life as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
in order to progress.
Yeah, because and a really good example of that was during like World War II, during World War II, or when you're learning about World War II in school, rather, did they ever teach you about how many Muslims died during that war, representing the UK and whatnot? Did they ever mention it?
Never.
Did they ever mention it?
It was only about themselves.
Never.
Right.
They're not
It's
just
only
Muslims, Sikhs and Hindus.
Yeah, Hindus as well. Of course, bro. Of course. 100%. You're absolutely right. Do you know the answer? I only found out the answer.
No, I don't.
Do you know the answer?
I remember reading about it, but I know it's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
because of
A lot.
I want to say 1 million, innit?
More.
Yeah, it was more than 1 million.
It's almost 2 million.
Yeah.
Such a significant amount of probably our ancestors, to be honest. And if not our ancestors, then our neighbours from our ancestral homes sacrificed their lives and put themselves forward to fight this war, and not a single time in school. Actually, I would love to hear from someone who, alright, I'm 30 years old, yeah, so someone similar age to me, drop me a DM in the comment if you remember a time when you're learning about World War II in school. I want to hear from someone that goes, yes, actually, they did tell us about the Sikhs and the Hindus and the Muslims and the Indians and the Pakistanis and all of those people. I guarantee you, we probably won't even find one, bro.
I'm sure we can find one of our history books from back in the day. The 2007 edition, and you'll see whether they talk about Pakistanis, Indians, and whatever.
It's not going to happen. Even actually going slightly off topic to what we were talking about, the Nepalese army, the royal family used to use the Gurkha, they're called, as like the army used to use them, the royal family used to use them as their personal guard. They used to bring them from Nepal, get them to work in England. A lot of these, they were all men. A lot of these men would come, they would be young, no families, no husbands, no wives, no children, no nothing, yeah? They'd come, they'd work, and when they retire or they're not needed anymore, they'd get sent back to Nepal. And it was actually, who was it? I want to say it was Imran Khan's ex-wife, Jemima, who stepped in and really pushed the narrative that you can't just use these people and throw them away. And then she eventually, I think, got it so far that actually, if you are one of those individuals from Nepal who come in and you get picked and you do this job and whatever, that you get granted citizenship to stay in this country and continue with your life and start your families and this, that and the other. But the reason why I say it is that's only a relatively recent thing. Even up until fairly recently, the West have a knack of taking people from these countries, like Nepal is right next to Bangladesh, next door. Taking people from these countries, use and abuse, and when you don't need them anymore, you chuck them. That's it. So we're talking about World War II, but it's still up until I'm pretty sure it was Imran Khan's wife. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was her.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm sure it was her. She really championed this thing, and that's recent, bro. That's so recent. So we're talking about World War II. Seems like a distant memory for older people, and just something we learn about at school for us. But even up until recently, the West still do this now. Still to this day, they still do these kind of things now. So are we surprised, actually, that these people who do these things, use and abuse people and chuck them when you don't need them, then go and support people like Israel? Are we surprised?
No.
We should be outraged, of course. But should we really be surprised? I don't
Any
think so.
normal human with basic human feelings.
And the other thing, Rishi Sunak, bro, calling big shots. No one voted for you. No one wants you. No one voted for you.
Tell them, sir.
You're calling big shots, you know. No one wants you here, bruv. Why? Like,
UK's got his own government. We support Stormzy.
think how mad it is.
What was the other brother's name who ran for Prime Minister?
What, Jeremy Corbyn?
No.
Nah, man, Nico.
Yeah, that's
Nico.
Nico. Yeah,
Nah, he ran for mayor.
Oh, was he mayor?
Mayor.
Oh,
Yeah, he done quite well, to be fair.
He should do Prime Minister next.
Yeah, trust me.
bro.
Trust me. But listen, England, France, America, all these places, you call yourselves democracy. Every war you start is in the name of democracy, supposedly. Well, if you're so democratic, why do we have a prime minister that nobody voted for? Isn't that not the opposite of democracy? That there's a person in power,
Bro, there's a
that no one
conspiracy
voted
theory that I have about this.
Tell
and
yourself.
that is that when all these different parties that have been created, they are all one body. It's just a job.
100%.
And after they finish fighting or arguing or debating in the House of Lords, House of Commons, wherever they do it, after that, they're just having pints together, having a great laugh. They don't really actually care or believe in any of the manifests or whatever they produce.
I can
And
believe
with
that.
regards to voting systems, it is an idea given to the public that you have a say in what is actually going to happen.
to make them
But in-
think
to
they
make
have.
them think-
yeah,
but in
yeah,
reality, they
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
what they have already decided.
in their plans.
So it doesn't
yeah.
actually matter, because a lot of the times when I speak to people, they're like, oh, the majority support either Labour Party or whatever. And it's like, well, who actually supported for Tories? Or who actually supported for BJ, Boris Johnson? Or who supported for Rishi Sunak? Who supported?
Go and sidetrack it to what I was going to say, yeah. Do you guys remember, like, a post on Instagram as well, about a few years back? And it's just like the people at the poll station, when they was rubbing out the votes in pencil.
Oh,
Oh, there you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything, in my thing is, like, anything that you do official always has to be done in black ink. As
No,
they
but
say.
they could just throw that away as well.
No,
man.
but my question is, why would you even want to do that in pencil as well? And then there was people there rubbing it out.
Rubbing it out, yeah, man.
That's all.
But do you know where I'm coming from
Yeah,
anyway?
100%. It's so sus, bro. Like, anyway, listen, we can talk about this all night long. It's been a long episode. Look, the message is, we
Support
course.
humanity, man.
of course we stand with Palestine. Of course,
Free Palestine.
always,
100%.
The river to the sea.
always, and it will never change. It will never
Palestine
change.
will never die. Palestine is in our hearts. No matter what you do, how you do it, Palestine is in every Muslim's heart.
What's the other thing, Hamza, as well? Like, you know, if you, it's like, if you feel like a pain in, like, one part of the body or something like that, and then it affects like the whole body. But what's the analogy for that as well?
I know you're.
You know which one I'm
I know
talking
what you're
about,
saying.
yeah.
I can't remember
I
it
know
still.
what you're
But you know which one I mean as well.
Yeah.
So whatever feels like in Palestine, like the whole of, like, you know, the Muslim Ummah, like, we feel the pain
We
as
all
well.
feel
course.
And if you don't feel the pain, then you really need to double check your heart, man. I'll be so
And
honest.
this
Yeah,
is
and you don't even need to be
going on.
Muslim to feel the pain.
Going back
100%.
to what you said reminds me of going back to what I was saying right at the start of, little kids in Palestine will see their mums and dads and loved ones being blown up and grow resentful, it doesn't just work for what I was going to say then, because we moved on from the conversation, so I didn't get to say, was the Ummah is one unit, right? So when something happens to them, if you do it to them, you've done that to everyone.
Yeah.
So it's not just kids there seeing it who will grow resentful of you. It's other people who, outside of the country, they will see it and grow resentful of you as well. So through your own actions, you've bred this group of individuals who will grow up and know you as child murderers, baby killers, who've committed genocide.
I ain't even gonna lie, that's a
ethnically
great
cleansed.
nickname for them, baby killers, bro.
Baby
Because
killers,
genuinely,
man.
that's what they are. They're baby killers.
Trust me, bro. And people will see this and it hurts, man. It hurts. And you have to be careful, because some people will get so hurt that in a few years' time, you don't know how that person's going to come back and react to those situations, man. So
You can't even blame them.
in your effort to try and supposedly wipe out Hamas, which is just a cover-up for we just want to kill any and every Palestinian,
There's even a video
you're
created
breeding
by some of the foreign
more,
ministers.
you're
and
breeding
prime
more
ministers that they
Hamas
want to
fighters.
kill. They don't really care. They just want to kill all Palestinians.
Yeah, man. Like,
So,
there's
the
enough of
Hamas thing
there's
is just the front.
enough of those Israeli.
All these children that are seeing their
Politicians.
parents die, or all these parents that are seeing their children die, don't you think they'll create a resistance? Of course. Are they going to be okay with that?
And my message is, it's not just the Palestinians. Do you think kids in Jordan, in Syria, in Iraq and Iran, even UK and US, all around the world, bro, kids will see this and they will grow resentful.
Talking
They'll grow
about another
resentful.
thing as well, and it's true what you're saying as well. Have you seen the other ones as well? Roblox. In Roblox, what has happened? Because you have like little children as well, yeah? They can't go to the protest or whatever, not yet. You know exactly what I'm talking about as well. So a gang of like what? How old are they? What, when did they start playing? Like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, yeah? Have you seen it, Hamza, yeah? They're all just there on the server, yeah? And they've got the Palestinian flags, bro.
Bro,
On
Roblox,
Roblox, gee.
it's just these like little like people made out of little blocks.
And they're all just like,
They
got the
got
Palestinian flag. Thousands.
Loads.
By the thousands.
It's mad, bro. And this is on a video game played by kids. Yeah? And this is what I'm saying. Because kids, obviously, you can't go, like, kids aren't going to go protest. But they're doing it in the way that they
Mad, isn't it?
can do
It's mad,
whatever
isn't
they
it?
can do. So, and these kids, bro, this is what I'm saying, bro. They're going to grow up and they're going to hate you. And do you think that's going to fix your problem? No. It's going to make it worse. And
Do you know what it is? They kind of just shot themselves in the foot as well.
But they can call themselves Israel however much
Yeah.
they like. We
But-
all know that's Palestine.
Yeah. But do you know what it is? It's coming to an end now, yeah? Like, even like non-Muslim people now, they're seeing like what Israel are doing is completely wrong, and it's just going against it, because this is the power of social media as well. Like we have like non-Muslim friends and everything like on our Instagram as well. But when people see the real side of what's actually happening and the actual details, and then they'll be like, you know what? This is complete madness. So have you seen another post now? There's been so many people have been reverting back to Islam now
Yeah.
because of what's happening in Palestine.
no, I haven't seen that one.
There's been so many.
One
Like,
Jewish lady, she posted a TikTok talking about how she was a Zionist and how she lived in America her whole life, and they always used to say, "Oh, we're going to go to your birthright land," or whatever they call it, and
Yeah.
they always used to brainwash them from kids to hate Palestinians, and that is our life. We need to kill all Palestinians. They're bad, X, Y, Z. And she openly admits all of that, and she said, look, I do not agree with anything that is actually going on. And she's read the Quran, and she's like, I'll tell you now, for anyone that will pick up the Quran and will read the meaning of it, Muslims are going to win, because a lot of people are going to revert back to Islam because of this book. It's so beautiful. But I think, look, we have spoken I don't think we've had a structure in particular for this podcast. We never planned this podcast because, in all honesty, none of us really know how to say what we want to say. We can't word how much pain we're feeling for Palestine. I was going to say Pakistan for a minute, God knows why, but there's a lot of pain that we're feeling for Palestine, and we support Palestine and will always bleed Palestine. And the Arab countries need to stand up and protect the Muslim Ummah. You're not going to go there, then who is going to go there?
Yeah, Arab countries and Muslim countries, man. Do you know what I mean?
Arab, Muslim, exactly. We all need to unite to protect our brothers and sisters. If we're not going to do it, no one is going to do it. And this is all down to the Muslim countries that have armies. Only you can protect the Palestinians.
Well,
Let's sum it up.
let's see what happens, man. And just everyone remember the best
Make dua.
the best thing we
inshallah.
can
Keep them
do
in your
is just keep the brothers and sisters in your prayers, every single one. Even when you're not praying, just before you lie in your warm bed and your comfortable pillow, remember to give thanks to Allah and make dua for all the people who are suffering. Even outside of Palestine, there are plenty of those as well. So let's not forget them too. Anyway, that was depressing. Very depressing. But hopefully the next one, everyone will be a bit more upbeat.
Yeah.
But it is what
It
it is.
needed to be said.
100%. All right, everyone. Nice. Assalamu alaikum. Take care.
Oh, Islam.